Hello and welcome to Ideas with Impact podcast. Today I'm joined by Helena Alexis, an award-winning actress, producer, and creative force who work spans film, television, and transformational storytelling. Helena, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to have you here and learn a lot what you do.
Thank
And
you for having me.
can you tell me what was the moment you realized acting and storytelling was your path?
My path, I don't think I understood what that meant because I started acting when I was 9, and I don't think I understood the deeper reason back then, but I just knew that it was something that I loved the most. Like it brought me the most joy. I grew up very
Mm.
shy and introverted and spent a lot of time in my room playing Barbies because I was teased. So I didn't really have many friends, and I would always use my Barbies and create stories with them. And I didn't know that I loved making stories. It was just like a fun pastime to do. And then when I booked my first commercial at 9.5 years old and I was on set, I was like, what? Mom, they're paying me to have fun? She's like, yeah. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, can I do this all the time? And that's when I realized this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And of course, as time went on and I would continue booking work, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly it. Like I loved embodying characters. I loved the depth that they would have, the transformational growth. And now I'm realizing I love that I'm able to share a type of like human to other humans that can trigger something in them for transformation. Because we all do it in different ways, but to do it on a mass scale where everyone's sitting down to watch television and you can touch people like millions at a time or even thousands. But even if one person watches it, to transform that one person that needed to see your story is that's it for me. Like that's the gift.
Mm. Yeah. So when you stepped on that stage, did you feel did you feel some sort of like a not rejection, but more like I don't know, or this is what just the moment that you went on and you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. It opened up the door for you.
You mean my first job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As a young
because I've been trying to book from like I started acting, I feel like when I was about 6, and I didn't book anything till I was 9. So I was going out on auditions for years and years and years. So I didn't know the feeling those years. I just knew I had to continue doing it. And then my that audition, I remember because my brother and I at the time used to do it together. And sometimes we would have the same audition because he was only 3 years younger than me, and they'd ask for boys and girls for some commercials. And this one audition, the casting director came out from behind and was like looking at the waiting room and remembered my brother from a previous job he booked him on and was like, hey, what's up, good to see you again, like come on in and like help me scout some of these people before it's your turn, in front of me. And I felt so ignored and so invisible, and that took like that actually motivated me because in that moment when he was in the back with the casting director, I went in the bathroom and like gave myself a little pep talk in the mirror at 9, being like, you're booking this, like whatever you got to do, like this is your job. You're not going to let your brother take another one from you, even though it's not like everything that's meant for you is meant for you. Like those were just meant for my brother, not for me. But I just was so motivated that this was going to be my booking. And so when I went out there, I just did something that I've never seen before. It was for a cereal commercial where they just wanted us to eat cereal. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat cereal with my hands and throw it up and like catch it and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that feels cool. Like, I bet no one did that. And I guess not because I booked the job. So yeah, you really have to want to do it and think a little bit outside the box and be authentic, because that authenticity is what booked me the job.
That's really amazing at that young age to actually have that. I think a lot of older people have that kind of hard time being this way. So it's like
Mhm.
I've never done acting like that, but I know like being in front of camera, even right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to say it right? Am I going to do this thing? But like now,
Yeah.
because of my age too, I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Like if I mess it up, I mess it up. It's not a big deal. But that
Mhm.
at 9 years old, that is
Mhm. Mhm.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I feel like everything is preparing us for something else. So having being teased when I was a kid, having my brother get all the auditions when I was a kid, it was actually preparing me and preparing my confidence of how to just be my authentic self. Because whatever, I'm not booking anyways. I'm like, might as well just roll the dice and try something different and like be who I really am instead of trying to be like everyone else because no one likes me anyway. So I'm already a sore thumb sticking out in the crowd. So that actually helped me. And it gave me the confidence to now, at an adult age, to not care and just like own who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, this is so important. Really,
Yeah.
truly coming into our own selves. And like I always say, we are not everybody cup of tea in a way,
Right.
right? So it's like
Right.
just be authentically as unique as possible the way you are, and you know, do what matters most to you as a human being.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all go through different realizations at different ages, but as long as we come to that realization, that's the most important part. Because we didn't come to
Mhm.
this earth to be like everyone else. And who says that they know what they're doing? They're just following someone else. So really, the
It's
universe, God, you know what I mean? Like God planted us with a specific mission and no one else knows our mission. So we just have to act out our mission even if no one else gets it. They're not supposed to get it. God didn't be like, this is what they're doing. Just
Mhm.
do what you know you're supposed to do. And the right people who resonate with you and your offerings are going to find you. But if you're trying to be like someone else, the people that need you aren't going to find you. That's how I look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah, it's so true. I totally see and I agree with you
Mhm.
because it's easy to put people in these boxes and then, you know, it's like a cookie cutter, right? Where, you know, if you want to be a journalist or if you want to be an actress, you know, there's so much that you can do to get to the point. And then yeah, the competition is so big down there that, you know,
Mhm.
get the role. Well, it's the
Right.
authentic person. It's the uniqueness in them. So that's how I feel too. Yeah.
For an audition, everyone's going to have the same script. Everyone's reading for the same role. But what they're looking for is what you bring to the table, not how you can be a robot and like do it the way you think
Yeah.
it's supposed to be done. It's that person that
Yeah.
makes them go, I didn't think about having it played like that, or I never thought
Mhm.
the person would look like that. I visualized them to look like this, but I love her look and what she brings to the table. Let's just hire her. I love it. That's sometimes what happens.
It's like the I call it this right now, the chat GPT model, like where everything's kind of the same.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Was there a moment that changed your trajectory or awakening something deeper within you? Mhm. When you went through the process of like at age 9,
hmm
um, maybe later on in your life, was there something that has really touched you deep inside?
There's so many, like, I feel every day I learn something and it transforms me and it pushes me in a new direction because we're every moment of every day we're deciding what path. I believe like we live in like parallel reality. So every moment we're like, do I choose this direction or that direction, this direction or that direction? And whatever direction you choose is like, okay, well then you go with whatever comes after that. But when I was 25, I don't really remember it. Sometime in my 20s, I bought this book at Indigo Chapters when I lived in Canada called The Celestine Prophecy. And I honestly don't know how I crossed paths with the book in the bookstore. I was always into spirituality and astrology and things like that, but this book just jumped out at me and I bought it. I remember it was like 2007 ish. And I read it in
Mhm.
2008 because it takes me a while to read a full book. As a Gemini, I'll read a little bit, put it down for a year, and then pick it back up. So I read in 2008, finished the book. And then I read it again in 2011, 12. And I was like, ooh, it's just like different things were popping up. And it's based in Peru and it's about synchronicity. And it's about
Mhm.
following like your intuition, your instincts, and the subtleties in life and the synchronicities, especially. And when you have a moment where they did it very, very obviously. Like if your roads are split, you go off, well, what's the brightest road to take? And then you take that road because that'll lead you to more synchronicities. And that's how the universe is guiding you on your journey. And so I read this book and then I went to yoga as I do because I was practicing since 2007. And my yoga studio always had these newspapers for free, like yoga, not yoga journal, but like some kind of free newspaper. And I never grab one. Like I don't care to read the newspaper. But this one day I was like, oh, I'm going to grab one of those yoga papers. And as I'm like flipping through, there's this tiny, tiny little article about a sacred experience in Peru with a shaman. The shaman's in the middle with two Peruvians holding like feathers, like, yeah, come, the tiniest. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call this number. Like, what are the chances? I've never really seen Peru out there, but I just finished this book based in Peru about synchronicities and the synchronicity of me picking up. I'm like, I'm going to call this is a synchronicity. I'm like very much in this book now. And the lady's like, "How did you find me?" I never, because she's a feminine shaman, she's a woman shaman. I'm like, "I found you in this newspaper." She's like, "That's the only time I've ever advertised. I don't ever advertise my sacred experiences in Peru or my ceremonies, but yeah, okay. Do you want to come to ceremony?" Because this was about August and they were going to Peru in December. So she's like, "You
Mhm.
can come every new and full moon. We do ceremonies and prep to go to Peru for the end of the Mayan calendar, December 21st, 2012. I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So she's in Guelph. So I would drive from Ottawa to Guelph, which is like 5 hours, and
Yeah.
spend the night, do ceremonies with this group of people. And it was amazing. And then when December came to go to Peru and we went to Bolivia, people in the ceremonies all were like, "Yeah, we're coming." And then no one signed up. It was just me. No
Oh.
one signed up. So I ended up I was the only one that went to Peru with this shaman one on one for like 6 weeks to Peru and Bolivia. We went to all the sacred sites. We were doing ceremonies with each other. So basically, she was serving me, doing ceremonies for me, and like playing her singing bowls. And like, it was amazing. And that really transformed my whole life. From there, when I came
Mm.
back, I felt like a brand new person. Like I was stripped of everything, like energetically, like my ego stripped. I was like rebuilding my personality. So I moved to Vancouver, which was nice because people are a little bit more progressive there. And I was on the beach. And then I decided, okay, well, I want to live in Vancouver. And the universe was like, "Nope, you're not living in Vancouver." So I went back to Ottawa. And then I moved to LA and got my papers to move to LA. So yeah, it was Peru that changed my life. But that book, more specifically, that changed my life.
That's so special because you don't have that opportunity to actually walk in Peru with someone like this one on one. Like it's very special.
I know. It's just, that was magic. That was literally, I can't explain it. That was God guiding me so specifically to the book, to reading it twice because the timing, I guess, in 2008 wasn't there. It was just everything happens for a reason. That's the message. And you have to trust the
Yeah.
synchronicity. You have to trust
Yeah. So
them.
how did you end up in LA?
Well, I've been acting like you know from 9 years old. And so
Mhm.
from all of the work that I've done from nine up until when I finished my Vancouver trip, like I had a huge resume because you have to have, work and a thick resume to come over to the States. And so that's how I came. Because I honestly thought that I was just going to stay in Vancouver, but I was applying for all of these apartments and these weird things kept happening where the universe was like, "Nope, you're not staying there. Nope, you're not staying there." Like one of the landlords was like, "You can have pets." And then I brought my dog and they're like, "We don't allow pets." I'm like, "Okay, that's a no." And then this other, and they were all different landlords. And then the next one didn't have their keys. So she called me like, "Can we reschedule? I forgot like my keys at the other location." I'm like, "Okay, no, we're not rescheduling." And then the other one didn't show up. And I'm like, how is like, this is three strikes. Like no one's showing up
Mm.
for me to live here. Like I can't even go into these locations to see the apartments. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I'll just go to Ottawa again and figure it out. If it's not Vancouver, and I already did live in Toronto, it's not Toronto, well then maybe I'm ready for LA. Like I really wanted to
Mm.
go to LA, but I was like scared, like, am I ready? And God's like, yeah, stop trying. Like you're ready. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
here.
I just had a conversation today with someone is that a lot of women live in that fear of the unknown, and we are so afraid to take that leap of faith going and whatever it is, we're like, I don't know, i'm kind
Yeah.
of I'm comfortable here, I'm not sure. It's a
Yeah.
lot that happens. So for you to kind of actually tuning in inwards and listening to these, this is pretty
Yeah.
incredible. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
can do that.
Well, I always believe in the three strike thing. I
Mhm.
tried the apartment thing in Vancouver. more than once. Like I heard the no once and I was like, well, okay, well, one more time. And God's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, one more time. And the third time I was like, well, what are the chances? I called my mom. She's like, well, no, like you're going to try again. Like 3 strikes, you're out. I'm like, you're right. You're right. I don't know where I'm going after this, but at least I know that I did try this direction out of maybe fear, but at least the universe will always redirect you like when it is time, because I just wanted to make sure that I was ready, because I did know I wanted this other step, but I just wanted to make sure I wasn't jumping the gun. I wanted to make sure that God was like, yeah, yeah, it is time. And so
It's
luckily
the right
I was
way to
guided.
do it, right? Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like we all do figure it out. We all have big goals. And as long as you know that you will get there somehow, you have to trust the guidance because it might not show up the way that you think it will.
Yeah, it's listening to the gut, really tuning in, listening to that. Because I believe in that very strongly, that you're doing something that is not aligned. And like you said, the universe will kind of, you know, slap you in the face, be like, hey, no. And then you're like, I'm just not listening to it. I'm going to do it again. And it's going to do it again
Yeah.
until you're like, wait a minute. Now I get it. So,
Yes. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And it's kind of comforting. Pardon? No, it's comforting too when you know that you did give it a shot, but you've been redirected. It kind of gives you more security and confidence. Like, okay, I know I'm being directed because I tried, but God said no. So I'm going to trust God. Like, wow, He made it quite obvious it's not that direction. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
Yeah.
Lean,
It gives you more
it's like
faith.
leaning forward and have that faith of believing whatever it's in front of you will come and
Mm-hmm.
show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
How do you prepare, or how do you prepare yourself emotionally for a character with depth of complexity?
Um, they're all pretty much the same. If I've resonated with like a character that I've experienced an emotion, because obviously I'm not going to resonate with all the characters I play because some of them go through things I've never experienced, but at an
Mhm.
emotional level, perhaps. So I'll just remember how it felt emotionally for me to experience something similar, and then I just apply that to the characters. So I do all the work that I usually do. I prepare the relationships, and I love people watching, so I might go to Starbucks and sit outside and just observe people passing by and get ideas of like how they dress the character or just their physicality, or I'll watch a show or YouTube some research, which usually does help. But it's kind of, you just get creative, and the way that you just create the relationships that they have together, then everything else kind of comes. And as long as you
Mhm.
know what they're feeling, because we all go through similar emotions, different things in
Mhm.
life to feel those emotions. And yeah,
Mm.
that's how I do it.
Yeah, that's actually really good because for me per se, I think it would be really hard. I think I would have been like a robotic kind of person. Now, I don't have as much as experience as you have, but I personally think it takes someone special to get into the role and actually, like you said, feeling it emotionally, being part of that person. You actually have to change your characteristic of yourself, right?
Mhm.
To make believe, right? Whoever is
Exactly.
watching that this is what's happening or this is the storyline and so on, right?
You put yourself over here and you embody the thoughts and the feelings of the character. And this is also
Mm,
why being super grounded and like practicing yoga or however you meditate, just to know who you are so you don't get fully lost in the character once they say cut. And that's sometimes what actors struggle with because
mhm,
they're so embodied, which is great acting on screen, but now can you
mhm,
take that hat off and be you again?
mhm. Hmm. That's interesting that actually people stay in that character, right?
Like Heath
Because
Ledger, he was the Joker after the Joker. And unfortunately, that's what happened to him after. You know what I mean? You have to know how to get out of it. So,
I can catch up with you as well, right? So living
Mm-hmm.
an authentic self, taking that hat on and put it back on. It's very important. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
what is something that people misunderstand about the world of acting?
Hmm. They think it's very glamorous and that it comes easily. And like anything, you have to work at it. Like doctors go to school for years. Like reporters, I like everything, you have to work at it. And just like on Instagram, you just see everyone's glamorous side of their life, but you don't know what they're
Yes,
actually doing.
yes.
So that's, and I think more people are understanding that because Instagram, obviously, like you see everyone's glamorous life, but we don't know what they're doing right now. So that's a misunderstanding, is that it's all like red carpets and media, but really it's a lot of work, a lot of emotional preparation, a lot of grounding, like I said, and a lot of long hours. You might have a call time that's 5 a.m. And that means you have to get up earlier because you have to shower, get ready, and then go to set. And who knows how far that is. And then you wrap like 14 hours later, and then you go to sleep for how many hours, and you wake up again and do it again at 5 a.m. So it's a lot. It's emotionally a lot of taxing and exhausting, but you have to love it. And that's why you will stick with it. But some people, you know, they don't they don't know how to deal with the long hours or a specific area because they think it's all sunshine and roses. But if you want it, you'll figure it out.
Have you ever had that moment where you were like, "That's it, I'm done"?
No. 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 Yeah. 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 If anything, I'm like, how can I create my own stuff? Like, if I'm just looking, how can I layer on top? But no, this is it for me. I love being creative, and yeah, I just want to
Okay.
expand my creativity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's art. It's part of art, being artistic. Yeah. What role has transformed you the most when within the time that you've been in this field?
That's transformed me the most. Um,
Hmm.
so many good ones. There was, hmm, there was one where I played. There was a show on HBO called The Line, which I was, I think, in my early 20s, like 22 or something, that was really my first reoccurring role TV series. And that transformed me, knowing that this is something that I can do. And that I felt like I remember the audition so specifically because I was going through something emotionally with this guy, and I was already sad. My character had to cry at the audition over like something her boyfriend did. I'm like, yeah, perfect. I'll just play off of that. So like what was happening in the scene I didn't resonate with. She was like hiding a gun in her locker because her boyfriend was like a crazy drug dealer or something. Like it's a crazy show. Like it's kind of like The Wire, but different. So if you're familiar with The Wire, it's very similar. So anyway, I went into the audition and I just like right on cue cried. I'm like, okay, cool. That felt good. And then I went on with my day. And then my agent called me and she's like, they want to see you like in the next 10 minutes. Can you go back for a callback? I'm like, but I have to do it again? Like I just cried. You know when you're done crying, you're just like done crying. Like I can't cry again. They're like, it's okay. They just want to see you do it another time. So I went in, I did it again. I didn't cry, but they were like, that's okay. We like to see the variation. So I ended up booking the job, which was the highlight of my whole life at the time because reoccurring role on HBO was always my dream. And now I'm living it. So yeah, that transformed my whole life. And we got 2 seasons of that. And then that like snowballed into me booking more roles because it gave me more confidence and I was on set more like reoccurringly. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is how it feels being on set all the time. And yes, okay, seeing myself on TV too, that's huge because sometimes we don't know how we will resonate or if we even like looking at ourselves on television. Then that led to other roles like Birdman, the big movie that won the 5 Oscars. And it just, it basically set my career on this like snowball effect where I just kept working because I had more confidence in myself and realizing like, okay, yeah, I can touch on things that I've lived on emotionally and like apply it. And sometimes what I'm going through at the time is actually divinely perfect and I could just roll with that. So I was grateful to the guy at the time for putting me through that emotional moment because it all worked out. It was like he was sent at the moment. So it's all good. It all works out.
It always works out at the end sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel watching yourself?
Oh, I'm okay. When I was younger, I could not watch myself. I would pick myself apart. Like I get, oh. But no, I learned by watching myself because if I could just sit back and like enjoy it, like a great
Mhm.
review, I'm like, ooh, okay, I really nailed that. But
Yeah,
if I'm, ooh, I don't really, you have to. You kind of learn from yourself because when you're in the moment on set, you're in the moment as the character. You're not like bird's eye view watching yourself because if you are, then you're not in character. So whenever you just like fully let it rip on scene in the scene, yeah, I have to watch myself to see how fully embodied I was, and I'm like, okay, cool. That was actually great.
I can see the difference in the last 2 years when I started this podcast. It's like
Mhm.
night and day. I
Yeah,
couldn't like when I watched myself for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, but it has been such a learning curve for me in a way of my presence, my speech, and
mhm.
everything. It really makes you think when you watch yourself because you catch yourself in these moments of, the silence, the ums, and how you look at the camera. So yeah, it's a huge learning curve for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The lesson is just no, of course. And if it was easy, then maybe you should try something else. So, like you should be doing something that challenges you a little where you can grow. So this is good.
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
How do you stay grounded?
Uh my family, they really I'm really, really tight. I'm a huge family person. They ground me. I
Mhm.
have really cool friends that always ground me. My dog, like I said, I love meditating. I practice yoga, love going outside. And I grew up in the industry from 9, well, 6 with my really. So seeing all the angles because I've done internships behind the scenes at modeling agencies in Milan, Italy. So I've worked behind the scenes and I've worked in front of the scenes. So I've seen all the angles and seeing how people become successful sometimes after one audition, like overnight successes, and then how they don't know how to handle the energy because it came so quick and they weren't ready. So they're ungrounded
Yeah.
and they don't work again. I've seen it. So from that experience of watching them, I'm like, oh, this is what to do, this is what not to do. And honestly, they've been a nice mirror for me of how to slowly and steadily grow in the industry and remain rooted at the same time. Because, like a tree, if you're not fully grounded deep, deep, deep in the earth, well, then you're not going to bloom like a big oak tree. They have the deepest
Mhm.
roots because you're anchored. So, this has been something that I've learned and that I also share anytime, like on my Instagram or like anyone asks me, like, we meditate before we get into it. I'm like, okay, let's sit down and let's ground.
Mm. It's
Yeah.
important because if not, then I find there's a lot of chaos in the head happening. And like once you
Yes.
get into alignment, then it's kind of a little bit of take that deep breath and really, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not only that, but family is so important.
So
Have
important.
family and really good friends around you for sure.
Yeah. They're very grounding. And if you know, like I read astrology charts, I've been studying that for years. The family sector is the grounding sector of the chart. So I'm like, how interesting is that? Like when you're connected with your family, you're more grounded because they keep you grounded. They don't really care what you did. Like they're happy about your success, but like my aunts and uncles, we're not talking about that when we hang out at like Christmas Day or whatever. We're talking about family stuff, like
Mhm.
that's it. And they keep me rooted, which I love.
Yeah, it's so important to have that. Yeah, not a lot of people do. A lot of people do, but it's so important to be close to them. So I'm super
Yes.
happy.
Thank you. Yes.
what about challenges, like personal challenges? Uh, what um what really shaped your inner strength um the most in this industry?
Um, when you don't book all the time, which I was used to from a kid. So like I learned that from my brother booking almost every audition we went on. So I learned slow and steady rejection. And if you can be comfortable with rejection, not everyone liking you, then
Mhm.
you will let those things roll off your back. Because if you just get into the industry as an adult, for example, and you don't book anything for 3 years, most likely you're going to quit. If you're, you know, banking on an audition within the first year, that's a lot of pressure. But that's my story was I didn't book for 3 years. And I still am here and I'm still doing it. So you have to continue to study and not just acting, like study life, go outside, like hang out with people, connect with people, read books, practice yoga, do your meditation, like know your why. Your why is your biggest reason why you're going to continue in the industry. As a kid, I didn't know what it was, but now I know that I love transforming people's lives when they watch my characters. I feel like the whole purpose of entertainment should be to transform people's life and bring more light to the planet. It's not just about entertainment. It's about changing because they're spending so much time with you. You sit after work like 8 o'clock at night for 2 hours watching television. That's two
Mhm.
hours of someone's life where you have the opportunity to shine more light, to transform them, to inspire them, to make them a better person. So that's my mission. Like, I don't want to just create more drama on the planet. I want to bring more light. So,
Mhm.
yeah, when you know your why, then any challenge is like an opportunity to grow, honestly. And you will
Yeah.
continue with all the rejection. You'll be like, okay, if it's not this, then it's something better. If it's not this audition, then it's something better. I trust that this is my path and the universe has a plan.
That's a great mindset to have because if you didn't have that mindset, then you probably wouldn't be where you are today.
Correct. Yeah. And it has to
Mhm.
be something greater than yourself. If you're just doing it for like fame and fortune, well, you're not going to last. And you're going to be doing it for the wrong reasons. And you're going to be creating art that's not inspiring. It's probably creating more chaos and drama, you know?
Mm.
And
Yeah,
there are
it's a good
people
way
that
to
do
put
that, unfortunately, but it's fine. Like, that's their path. And maybe one day they'll transform their art into something more inspiring.
So you left Canada. Do you think Canada doesn't have that kind of same kind of, I mean, obviously LA is the place to be when it comes to be an actor, but does Canada have very similar feel to it? Like if you stayed here, would you be the way that you are right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I have only gratitude for Canada, and I actually think Canada has a lot more work than you think. It's not like LA is the place to be. There's so many places to be. You can be in Atlanta, you can be in New York, you can be in Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. Like a lot of my biggest roles, besides Jessica Wu, were all in Canada. Like Birdman, 5 Oscar-winning movie, that was in Montreal. HBO
Oh,
series that I spoke about, that was in Toronto. So, yes, Canada is hot, and there are a lot of successful Canadian actors that have a resume that could move to the States, but they choose not to because they're working all the time in Canada. Lifetime movies, like the majority of Hallmark movies, are all in Canada. So
really?
I it doesn't matter where you are or in Atlanta, like all of Tyler Perry's things, he built a huge studio. Atlanta's hot. Maybe Atlanta's the place to be, but really you'll know. It's like if you feel called to a certain spot, it's because the universe is whispering this is your spot. So the place to be is
Mm,
really where you're supposed to be. It's not like everyone should be like like we're talking about. It's not like everyone should be in one spot or everyone should be over here. It's like
like,
where are you supposed to be?
like,
Because maybe it is Ottawa. Ottawa has a lot of work too, which never was a thing back in the early 2000s. But now it's like there's so many movies being filmed there.
yeah, I've seen it. What was it lately? It's not like I live in Chelsea, Quebec. It's like, what, 15 minutes north of Ottawa.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've heard of that. Well, it used to be called the Tulip Valley, but now it's Motel Chelsea. Yeah, there was this fall. Um, they had, I think it was a whole week. They were recording a movie there. Yeah, there was a huge production happening. Like it was pretty cool. I was like, oh my gosh, just like right in my village, which is super cool. Yeah. So yeah, and then Wakefield has quite a bit things happening in there as well. An old
Exactly. There's so many opportunities there. I always tell people just stay where you're at. If you're working, stay there. You know, if the universe tells you to move somewhere else, okay, then try it. But, you know, it's like trying to retire when you're hot. Like, don't retire when you're hot, keep going. The universe will tell you when to retire, if ever. Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll retire at 100. That's okay.
Yeah. Why not? Keep going. Keep the mind active.
Yeah, no, that's a great because being connected with people and really doing something that you really love is so important, right? It's
Hmm.
just a one way to kind of give back to the world or give back to community or whatever it is.
Hmm.
It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all here to spread more light. That's what I think. And whatever our thing is, like if it's a podcast or if it's an actor, if it's a doctor, if it's like the barista at Starbucks, either way, we're here to spread light and like bring more energy to the planet. So however that is for you, it that's awesome. Like just do that. You know, and if God changes your path to doing something else, okay, that's fine, but just make sure it's to spread more light, more light, more light, because what's the opposite of that? Darkness. Like there is no in between. So just know that you are spreading light, and the more light that you spread, the more light you'll get in return. And really, that's what I think abundance is. It's not just the physical money. That's like God giving you abundance because you're doing such good work. And abundance could even just come in the form of like great friendships or like people giving you things or giving you love. Like that's abundance. Or just being at the right place at the right time. Like, wow, I'm abundant with my timing. Like, amazing, because you're always going to be provided for if you're living in alignment and doing the positive spiritual work energetically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So talking about energy, how do you protect your energy?
I do a few things. So there's a little mantra that I'll say to like wrap myself in a golden light before I enter any building because there's so many energies flying around. And I basically just visualize like myself in a bubble of golden light, like protecting me. So that's one way. I do wear crystals. Like this labradorite is literally about protecting my energy. Even though I'm on camera, it doesn't matter. But like I still feel like, you know, it protects me as a shield. Um, and just not engaging in anything where I feel it's leaking my energy, like anything negative. Because if I engage in it, now I'm a part of that orbit, that field of energy. So I'm
Mhm.
very cautious. Like I'll be observant and be like, do I want to engage in this? Is this calling my energy? If yes, okay. If not, then I'm protecting myself because I'm not now looped into it. So these are ways I do
You're
it.
paying
And again,
attention to these, yes, you're paying attention to these negative energies coming at you. Yeah. So important to be, again, engage in these feelings and noticing.
hmm,
I all about energy too. And it's like, if I feel off, it's like, I'm not sure whether that go that direction, or I'm going to be surrounded by these people, or whatever just doesn't feel right. It's
right.
not for me. Yeah.
Right. And you could just move into a new conversation if you're at a party or something and it doesn't feel right. Okay, thank you very much. Now I'm time to go over here or leave. You know, you'll know. We know when it feels right or it feels off.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember when I was younger, much younger, I think like in my early teens, it's like I went through this stage of wanting to be liked and like belong somewhere in the way that I didn't want to make these mistakes and I didn't want to, hurt anybody in a way, right? And through the process of my growth as well, I think I started my spiritual journey about 8, 9 years ago. And I wish I knew this when I was that young, you know? So now I'm like in the stage too where I don't feel it. mm, don't cross that line here. That's it. You know,
Right.
pivot myself, and I'll just, like you said, change the conversation, change just the dialogue, or move myself or remove myself from a certain situation. What I wanted to say is that I feel that I'm so content right now with myself that
That-
I, I don't care about anything
yeah.
else. Like my family, my good friends, it
Mhm.
what makes me feel good, what makes me feel me. It's so important.
Mm.
I so protect that space.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Because authenticity is the highest vibration. People think it's love,
Yeah,
but it's authenticity. So the more authentic people on the planet, the higher the vibration of the planet as a whole. So stop trying to please other people and start being pleasing to yourself and to God. As long as you know that you're doing good work and you're like being a good human and a good soul, then that's all that matters. And you're doing what matters to you. You're literally attracting more people, like I said, like you. Instead of pleasing people that are not at your frequency, why don't you just be your own frequency and attract those who resonate and then create a squad like that? I think more people should learn to just live in their authentic self, you know? There some people are afraid to do so, but I feel at this point in life more people are realizing it
I
because the
think so
universe
too.
is, I think, redirecting them like, nope, not this direction, this direction. And they're like, okay, all right, I'll finally do it, I'll be myself, you know? And they're happier. Yeah.
I personally think that there is some sort of shift happening in the
Mhm.
consciousness and
Oh, for sure.
in the energies itself, that people
For
are
sure.
more awake, people are more aware of what's going on. It could be perhaps because we are surrounded by walking movies, and movies reflect a lot that's happening in the world today, that
Yes.
the energies definitely are shifting. People are becoming more curious. Uh, it's like spreading the light, spreading the love. That's the only you can do, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
we're not living in the 1500s. We need to change, right?
Yeah. But if you look back at how life has changed since the 1500s, like we're always transforming. We can look back at the 90s, like the 1990s, and how different humanity was to now. So even if it's subtle, we are always changing and evolving. So you got to trust that even when you don't realize that everyone is, or maybe you do, we are. And we'll look back 10 years from now and be like, whoa, look how far we've come. Or 20 years from now, like, whoa, what kind of age were we living in back then? You know, it's subtle, but it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I mean, look
Mhm.
at 2000. Everybody was screaming, "Oh my gosh, it's going to be the end of the world!" Right?
Yeah, so
1999,
different.
2000, crazy
So
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And here we are embracing
Here we
technology
are.
and yeah.
Oh, I
Hmm.
think technology is so beautiful. If it wasn't for technology, we couldn't have this conversation right now.
Exactly. I actually think it is helping awaken the planet.
I think so.
Hmm. Hmm.
What does feminine empowerment means to you?
Feminine empowerment means embodying the softness, like you were saying. That the feminine, I look at it as astrology because I study astrology. Venus is the receiver. Mars, the masculine, is the giver. So when you embody your softness, you embody your self worth, you embody your beauty, when you embody just giving love everywhere you go with your energy and your smile and your warmth, this is the true feminine. We think being like a strong feminine is to embody our Mars. Yes, have your masculine side. We all have a masculine and feminine side, but you don't have to like go after it like a guy. Like that's what guys do. Let them be their masculine, be in your masculine and your feminine. But at the end of the day, if we're a feminine and we identify as feminine, then be in your feminine and your softness. Because in the end, the feminine receives and the masculine gives. That's why even the glyph of the Venus is like this with a cross, and the masculine is like this with an arrow, like he's giving.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm,
And that's powerful.
interesting.
Like, it's not, yeah, like sitting in your softness and like doing less is more powerful than trying to make it happen, you know?
Right.
Because the women attracts. So if you are embodying yourself and you're like vibrating out your authentic frequency, like we were saying, people will come to you as a feminine. You don't have to go and get it. That's actually what people think manifesting is, and like going out and getting it. But actually, as a feminine, you just have to sit and like do less. And I've been learning that because I'm a very like in my masculine. I'm learning more over the past few years that I'm softer. I have Venus in Aries, which is Mars's home sign. So like my Venus likes to be masculine, but the more I do less, the more people come to me out of nowhere, and like I receive more. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is like I feel more secure, more relaxed, more safe. Like this is, and the feminine wants to feel secure, safe, relaxed, and comfortable. So as long as I'm doing that and I'm serving myself and making myself feel nourished and whole, then everything will just come. That's the power of the women. We don't have to work as hard out there. Just work inwards.
Mm. There's women who are either separated, divorced, and sometimes women, and again, maybe not everybody, but I find that sometimes women have a harder time to understanding the feminine side of it because they are single moms, because they are have to work and provide for
Yes.
their kids, and they have to step in into that masculine when
Yes.
they have to
Yes.
do that stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes for women to
Mm-hmm.
sit down. It's easy to say because I feel you because I went through the same stuff where I had to slow down and let my husband deal with certain things and be like, okay, well, you can do that. I can't fix that. Or before I'll be like, let's, you're not going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I had to
Right.
learn to back away from it,
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you navigate um, expectations placed on women in the entertainment?
Can
Are
you
women put
rephrase?
on a different pedestal in the way, or do they have to work harder because they're women?
In the entertainment industry? Um, I don't think of it that way. I just think we're all human. We're all here to create art, and I don't see it as being put on the pedestal. Like I've never, my mind's never gone there, so I've never separated that from men, women, pedestal. I just go, I do the best work that I can, and that's it. I don't think about men versus women because we're here to collaborate. So I don't, that's never been a thought, you know? Yeah.
That's a good way to put it because you hear stories, right?
Yeah.
Not sure if I should say it here, but whatever. Um,
I know
Sexual
what you're, I know,
favors, do
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this, and you're gonna get the role if you do this, right? So there's like that
You
part
need,
of
okay,
the
I get you. Yeah, no, you need boundaries, of course, because, and you need to be grounded because it's the ones that are not grounded or the ones that just want the fame. Like I said, the success will do anything for it. But if you know who
Mhm.
you are and you have your boundaries and you're grounded and you know that you're here for a reason and you're here to spread light and not darkness, and you're not going to go after the darkness and you're going to protect your field, everything we spoke about before, then you're not going to even be offered these weird scenarios where it's like you have to do this to get that. It's like, well, no, this feels dark because if I, like I said, the road is split. Am I going to pick the shady road or the light road? Because if I pick this, and I know I'm going to get more things that align with this path, the shadow side. But if I pick light, I'm going to have more things that bring me more light. It's like you're just going to align with the right people. So you're
Mhm.
not going to be put in those situations. And if you are, if the universe is testing you, well, then you just know what to say. You're like, actually, that's not for me. Thank you. We're going over here now.
Right.
You just leave the party.
Mm.
Yeah.
Would that
You need
actually
to.
would that actually change your not your perspective, but would that change your characteristic ability to have or get another role? Because let's say these producers know each other and all that stuff, and all obviously I think most majority of them are connected somehow. Would they try to, let's say, ruin your reputation or like that? Because it's easy to say yeah, no, and then maybe
Mhm.
that's why it takes such a long time, you know, to get to certain roles. But wouldn't that be um in effect?
Maybe, but
Mm.
would I rather be authentic and integrity and have boundaries and not let someone take advantage of me, knowing that I wouldn't be put in the situation that the universe would just ruin my whole life if I said no to something that would completely actually ruin my whole life? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's why you have to have a lot of faith and you have to believe in something higher than yourself. And the universe wants to have the best outcome for you and will always protect you. And if you are going against things that you believe, well, then you're going to have more outcomes that just take away your power. But if you're
Mm.
in your power and you don't book a role because someone's trying to take advantage of your power, then that's not for you. It will just continue to snowball to more opportunities that take away your power. Is it really worth it if you look back on your film and your body of work and you're like, oh, I gave up my whole self and my soul
Mm.
to book this role for what? Like, is that the message you're giving to the world? Is like, give up your soul so you can get work? Like, for me, no.
Right.
I would rather, like I
Right.
said, create my own stuff and like put out work that I know has a lot of light behind it, or collab with other people that I feel they're putting out strong, light bodied energies, bodies of work. Like, that's I don't mind. I don't care how long it
Mm.
takes, because in the end, I still have my soul and I still have my integrity. And I know that I'm making the world better. And I'm also keeping my boundaries and my power.
Mhm. What advice would you give to a woman struggling um, in this industry?
Struggling in what way?
Struggling in her own truth, in her own voice. When someone tells her you can't get this role because of ABC and so on and so on.
Then good. It wasn't for you. Just keep at it. As long as you know that you will get exactly what you need, that your path is already written, then that's not your role. Whatever is meant for you will not pass you by. You have to believe that. Whatever is meant for you, whether it's a relationship or a job or uh, uh, the life direction you go on, like, everything that is meant for you will not pass you by. It is meant for you. And it might take a day, it might take a year, but either way,
Mm.
it's circling your orbit. And until you become the frequency that can handle such a big, whether relationship or job or whatever, then you will be able to attract it. But until then, it'll just be circling you until you are ready to hold it. Some people cannot hold the frequency because they're just like ungrounded. Because if the God gave you the biggest gift of your life, the role that would change your life and set you on a trajectory that you now have interviews every other weekend with Conan O'Brien or like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, like, can you handle that? Can you handle all these eyes on you and your Instagram blows up to like 1 million followers and like everyone's commenting and like saying they like you or they don't like you? Because there's always going to be both sides, which is good. That's how you know you're putting out good art, when you have people that boo and people that applaud. But like, can you handle that? Do you know that you're not supposed to please everyone? If you can't handle all the energy that will come with the big role that you want, well, then the universe won't give it to you yet, because they're not ready. Because if we give it to them, they're just going to like fall off a cliff, like they're not ready. So you have to know who you are. And so you're not being taken advantage of either. Know who you are, ground yourself, meditate, whatever it is for you to like be in your body and be in your soul and have boundaries and know exactly who you are and what you will go for and what you won't stand for. Then everything that
Mhm.
is meant for you will come to you at the right time. Not your time, divine time.
Mm.
Samuel Jackson, I don't think actually blew up in his career until like his late 50s. Like, sometimes that's your path. And who knows what he was doing up until then, if he was working as an actor or he was doing something else, but eventually he figured it out. And when he was like in his late adulthood, then he blew up. Like, okay, the roles were waiting for him. Now he's like one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood and he's working everywhere. But like, it took him 50 some years, but those roles were waiting
Yeah.
for him. So whatever is meant for you, if you believe it is, then you will trust the process and then it'll come to you faster because you're not gripping at the wrong things. Then the right things will
Yeah.
find you.
Very well said. Very well said. It's so important to be grounded and to be in your body, like you said, right? To
Yeah.
realize these things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's easier,
Mhm.
let's say for me, but I'm totally using me as an example, not go in and be like, oh, I'm a next whatever.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't know how I would handle myself in terms of going from ground zero to exploding, right? I don't
Right.
know. Like
Right.
it would get into my head. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. It gets to your head and
Mhm.
things
Mhm.
happen after, right? Not the greatest things, right? So
Mhm. Or the greatest things if you are capable of handling that frequency.
mm,
Then you continue
yep.
to build on, you know? Because Meryl Streep,
Yeah.
she's amazing, but like she's handling it and she's grounded. But she's also like been doing it for a while, but like nothing phases her. People like her, people hate her, but she's the best actress in the world. And her
Mm,
frequency, she's so high. You know what I mean? But she can handle it.
mm.
You have to be able to handle it.
That's it.
People won't like you. That's the main thing. Like people think being like a celebrity or being like super well known, everyone's gonna like you. But that's quite the opposite. You have to be okay with people not liking you. So start practicing that from now. Start practicing that from now. Because if everyone does like you and like people want to be people pleasers, well, no, that's the opposite. If people like you, everyone likes you, you're not putting out good art because you're not being authentic. If you
Mm,
are getting claps and you are getting boos, that's how you know you're probably putting out good art. Because every successful actor or musician or whatever, even sports star, like they don't have all the people in the world that like them. There are so many people that boo them. There's so many people. Even Taylor Swift. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but a lot of people like her. But there's a lot of people that don't like her. And does she care? Does Taylor Swift know I don't like her? No. Does she care? She doesn't care. Like she doesn't care. I love Jay Z, but do you like Jay Z? Maybe not. But does Jay Z? He doesn't care. He's still going to put out the music that he wants to put out. Period. That's how you know,
yeah.
and you have to not care.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
just you do you at the end of the day.
great in everything in life. Don't just wait until you're like getting a lot of eyes on you to not care. You have to start from now.
Right.
Start practicing from now. Not everyone's going to listen to this podcast, but do you care? No. Do I care? I don't care. Whoever's supposed to hear it will hear it. And that's amazing. We change a few people's lives, whoever does listen to it, because it was
That's
meant
it.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so important to tune in into this uh like we said earlier, frequency to be aligned with it, right? Because if we're not, then you can't force yourself into certain situations, certain things. Because again, it's just not doesn't work that way. So,
Right. Right. Exactly.
what impact do you hope your work leaves on the world?
Like I was saying before, to be authentic, to transform yourself, that we're always growing, we're always changing. I change my hair every 3 to 4 months. That's how much I transform from the inside out to always grow from the inside out. Sometimes my hair is just a reflection of like the change I'm going through inward. So I hope that everything I put out there, even if it's just walking on the street and someone just feels my energy and it makes them, I don't know, inspired to change or inspired to grow or inspired to express themselves, because I don't have a problem expressing myself. I've always been like that with my clothing. I That is one thing from a child. I've never cared about anyone not liking the way that I dress because I love the way I dress. I was always an oddball in school. Like people would make fun of the way that I look because of my skin color, but like you can make fun of my clothes all day. I know that my clothes are dope. So as long as you are living in your highest self, like in your authentic self, that is the biggest gift you can give to the world. So if I'm a reflection of that to anyone, whether it's my art or walking down the street, that's the impact I hope to leave, to be authentic.
Mm, mm. Such an easy word to say and so hard what to do. Find it. Just finding yourself.
Mm-hmm. You have to
So
just wake
important.
up and just enjoy your life. I think that's what it is. If you are focused on other people or other things, that's where you can take the authenticity. You're then trying to compare and contrast. Like, I wake up and I'm just excited to live my life and get dressed. Whether I'm just staying at home, I'll still get dressed and look like this. I really don't care. I do it for me. As long as I'm feeling happy in my skin, then I know that I'm being authentic. Sometimes I'll FaceTime my mom and she's like, "Why are you all dressed up? Where are you going?" I'm like, "Nowhere. Just gonna walk my dog." She's like, "You're all dressed up to walk your dog?" I'm like, "Yep. Makes me feel good. I don't care. I do it for me." And then other
It's
people, whether it resonates with them or not, that's cool. But like, I'm not looking to impress anyone. I just want to feel good every day of my life. And that's how you know. It's not like
oh my,
trying to be authentic or stand out. Just be happy being you.
you just literally hit the nail in the head. Like I had this conversation like
Mhm.
because he works from home and sometimes you go through the stage of like not taking a shower every day, wear the clothes, and then like I'm like, oh, you're always dressing up. Like internal feeling. And I
Mhm.
sit down and look at the camera, and then like not dressed up. I feel like shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
even though you're at home, having a shower, dressing up, it feels good,
Yeah.
right?
That's it.
So I
That's
agree
it.
with you on that one. At the end of the day, you make your own bed. You have to sit up. You have to feel.
Right. And how clean are your sheets? Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's funny because I just washed my sheets last night. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, we have our dog sleeping with us, so we're like every 2 days wash the sheets.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, yeah. But it really is a personal thing, and it's about being
Yeah.
happy from the inside out. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you see storytelling contributing to individuals and collective healing?
Um, Storytelling, like I said, is a way that we can transform people's lives. We shed more light on the planet. It's a way that people can resonate with you and feel seen, because some people feel like they're living their lives and no one else is having a similar experience, so they might feel alone. But when they turn a movie on and someone's living a similar experience, they feel seen. And that story can transform them to, develop in a certain way or make a different life decision that'll alter their lives. That's why I feel like it's so important to put out positive stories, or at least a story where it turns out for benefiting humanity with more light instead of more drama, because people sit down and they dedicate hours of their lives to television and like
Mm.
movies. So to always put out things that will help the transformation bring more light. Otherwise, what are we doing? you know, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's true. It's so important. I'm not a big movie person. My husband can watch movie after movie after movie. I'm more of a book person. Like, give me a book and I'm happy. Uh,
Nice.
and I always forget the titles, to be honest. Like, oh, remember the movie we watched? Like, tell me the
Nice.
story. Tell me the line of the movie. Maybe I'll remember it.
Okay. Nice.
What daily practice, again, or tool do you believe everyone should use or should integrate in their daily lives?
Everyone is different. So I'm not going to say there's a cookie cutter way that everyone should live their lives, because then that's not
Yeah.
authentic living. But definitely go outside. That's something we all can do. The trees, the grass, the breeze, the fresh air is so healing and so cleansing to our aura and uplifting of our spirits, that spend a nice, like, I'd say 20 minutes or more outside, even if it's just sitting on your porch or shoveling snow. Like, just spending some time outside to clear your mind is so healing in so many ways. And we do it naturally. We're like, oh, even someone like in Canada where it's snowing, still going outside and just going ice skating or going for a drive with the windows open, like just going outside. It just has a healing effect that everyone can benefit from.
Yeah.
Like it does feel, I remember when I was in the snow, it does feel good to just even go for a walk. If you're all bundled up in a snowsuit and covered up with everything and still going for
Yeah.
a walk, like there's just something about it because no one's outside even at that point because it's so cold. But there's a mystical air that you're like, wow, am I the only one existing right now with all this snow and these trees? It's like, it's kind of magical. So if you can, I would still figure a way to go outside.
No, I agree. It's even if it's just for that 5 minutes to go outside and just breathe
Yeah.
in fresh air. Just literally be
It's
silly with yourself.
yourself.
Yeah, it is beneficial.
Yeah. If you could leave listeners with a one truth that would truly transform their life, what would it be?
With one truth,
Mhm.
that everything that is meant for you will not pass you by. Everything that is meant for you will always be for you. This is something I was saying earlier, but that's something people need to actually fully grasp. You can't mess it up. If it's meant for you, it will find you. Maybe it won't for 5 years, but eventually, when it's time, it will find you. Whether it's the relationship, the career, the moment where your life changes, whatever that is, everything that is meant for you will always be for you.
Hmm. I love that. I agree. There's no rush. We shouldn't be rushing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will always be guided to the right moment at the right time, saying the right things with the right information. You're like sometimes not even looking for it, and then it just pops up, or the phone rings, or you get some information, you're like, oh my God, yes. Or you find a newspaper in your yoga studio that you're like, I'm just going to call the number. And then that transforms your whole life. And you didn't plan that, but the universe made you more interested in picking it up that day. Why? I'm not going to ask questions. It just feels right. I'm going to do it. It will not pass you by if it's meant for you.
That's it. That's it. We just have to pay attention.
Pay attention to what you feel. Because when you feel the urge to do something, sometimes we do it without thinking. And we're like, why did I want to do that right now? It just felt right. Like, trust that. Trust the excitement in that moment. If you feel the excitement to go for a walk, well, then go for a walk right now. Maybe there's a message of some like passerby that they're having a conversation. They say something that you need to hear at that moment to then make the next decision in your life. The synchronicities are really what guide us from the universe. So just trust that. Yeah, trust that. And that we're all connected. So even this conversation, I needed to hear it. You needed to hear it. And this was part of my journey in some way. And I'm learning from it. And it's going to transform my next moment in my day today. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Just keep spreading more love. Like, just smile more, compliment people more. Just saying, like, wow, you look really nice today, or I love your hair, really can make someone's day. And just, if you have nothing nice to say, then why say it? I'd rather say loving things and just like, even just a smile. You have no idea what everyone's going through because we're all going through something. So a small gesture like that can really lighten someone's day, and then they end up spreading more light to the next person they come across. So just spread more love, smile more.
Yeah, it's so important to do this because negative only creates. It's like pouring gas into the fire, right? Don't do that. Just be authentic, be you, be loving.
It's not
Love to hear it out into the universe, all
yeah.
around us.
Yeah. And how hard? It's not hard at all to smile. It's so easy. It takes less muscles to smile than frown. So just smile more. Yeah.
I always loved your mom's message. It's rich, always has such beautiful energy about her. It's beautiful.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome. Helena Alexis, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Really appreciate you coming on this
Yeah.
conversation with me. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you.